before I get into today's message, I want to bless this channel. This channel is a sacred space for me where I can come and share the deeper truths that are within me. A sacred space that I bless with peace, love, divinity, the presence of God. These truths that I'm sharing, these messages that I share, I'm practicing feeling into energy and then turning that into words, using the English language to convey a message that is energetic, that cannot always be as profoundly understood in language as it can through energy. So I'm practicing, so I ask for grace and assistance from the divine, and I'm grateful to be here and have this space. It's sprinkling a little bit this morning. 1, 2, 3. So I have my Sacred Heart of Mary candle. And yeah, I would also like to say on November 23rd, I'm hosting a free Zoom gathering where we are going to sit in presence and learn how to, or just be in a space where we can all embody our higher self together, sitting in meditation, prayer, do a card pulling, and then I would love to pull other people up onto Zoom, so it's not just all about me speaking, but we're all going to be speaking if we have something to say. Or yeah, so that's going to be on November 23rd, and then I'm having a second, it's a 21-day higher self activation and integration. 21 days starting on December 1st, so it'll end on the winter solstice. And that one is going to be $60. But it's going to be incredibly powerful. We are going to sit and deeply create a sense of deep space within us so that we can reconnect to our own divinity, we can reconnect to our own inner truths, we can reconnect to our highest self, our Christ selves. And what better way to do this than in a gathering of many? I believe that we are so powerful as humans, especially when we come together in unification and we do these kinds of things together. It can be an even more powerful experience than if we were to just do this on our own. So I'll have my email in the bio, and you can email me, or in the description. I'll put my email in the description. You can email me if you're interested in either one. Okay. This message came across to me last night while I was doing the dishes, and then again this morning in meditation, and it's really beautiful. If you'd like to breathe with me, you can. I'm just going to take a few centering breaths. So the phrase that was kind of the center of this whole download or channel or whatever, just what I received was "die before you die," and how many of us here on earth can't wait to get out of this physical form. We feel stuck and we feel trapped and we feel just like we're not home. We feel like we want to go home, like we're trapped somewhere that we don't want to be. And this message that is coming through is letting us know that we are free. We're free as soon as we choose to be free. Our physical vessel, our physical form is truly an illusion of the mind. It's an illusory imprisonment, if you will. And the truth of who you are exists here and now. Your freedom exists here and now. Abundance exists here and now. The divine exists here and now. And when we try to escape what we are in order to get to the divine or get to home, we want to get home with God. We don't want to be here in this physical form anymore because there is so much pain, because there is so much suffering, and it can be unbearable. And this message is coming through very strongly that when you cross over, if you still have this feeling of being imprisoned or feeling stuck in this body or anything that is constricting you and causing you to not feel free, when you cross over, when you pass away, that feeling will stay with you. You don't escape that just by leaving the physical form. That is a part of your consciousness at this time, if that is what you're experiencing. And if you think that escape is the way out, you are going to be disappointed when the time comes. And you're going to wish that you had understood this while you were in the physical form. Coconut water. We are truly safe. We are truly free here and now. There is nowhere that we must get to in order to experience freedom. That is a limitation of the mind. There's nowhere else that we need to be except for here. Except for rooted and grounded so deeply into our bodies, rooted and grounded so deeply into this present moment, onto this earth that we chose to incarnate on at this time. And the deeper that we can understand that crossing over is not going to be our savior, it's almost as if, and I understand this, I went through this. Honestly, it's only been the past few months that I don't feel this way. I felt this way for a very long time. I just wanted to cross over. I was tired of being human. I was tired of being here. So I understand. It feels incredibly challenging, but the point of it all is to rise above it. Is to bring heaven down to earth. Bring our Christ selves embodied. Bring what we wish to receive by passing over into the here and now. What we think we will receive when we cross over, we can have that now. We can have that right here, right now. We can transcend the limitations that we think we have in this physical form. When we choose to embody this knowing, embody this understanding, the whole idea of dying before you die is quite profound. And honestly, my human self, my human mind, still struggles with this concept, and the more I try to logically understand it, the less and less sense it makes, and the more and more I want to go back to my escape mindset. But the more that I can sink into it and feel this truth in my heart space, breathe into this truth that everything truly is here now, and escaping is not going to bring us closer to it. Because we still, in that mindset, we still believe that there is a there we need to get to. But there is no there to get to. Everything is here now. I know that that is something so commonly said in the spiritual community, but I don't know how much of it we fully integrate when we hear that. Then we still go back to our egoic thoughts of wanting to leave the here and now because we think there's going to be something outside of the here and now that's better than what's here and now. But the whole concept of dying before you die is telling you, when you can drop into your heart space and feel into this, it's telling you that we are not our thoughts, we are not our mind, we are not our limitations, we are not this physical form. And the quicker we can transcend those things, and then this is the confusing part that is challenging for my ego to understand. We transcend these things, and then because we've transcended them, we can even more intensely anchor and root down into our physical form and be more centered and grounded here and now on earth. So we must transcend the earthly, the egoic things, but then the goal isn't just to like blast off and leave earth. Then we want to come right back around and drop as far down into our root, into the earth, be as grounded as possible. And so then we aren't going back and forth between our divinity and our human. Now they become one. This is the part that my mind tries to understand that I can't understand. But I can feel it. I can feel into it, and I feel that it's true. So maybe the key is to not try and think about it too much, not try to bring logic into it, because that's still our humanness. Trying to bring logic to that which has no logic. And the more we can create space within ourselves through breath, through meditation and prayer, the more we meditate to create space rather than to get something out of it, the closer to the truth, the closer to that feeling that comes and radiates from our heart that we can be, and the more we can sink deeply into trust in this type of a concept. Because we're no longer trying to logically think about it and make it make sense. We're choosing to open ourselves to it, to create space from within for the seed to be planted and the sprouts to pop up. When we try to think and overanalyze and logically implement these ideas, we're constricting ourselves. We're constricting the space within ourselves. We're filling the space with doubts and fears and logic and all of this, which can be useful from time to time, but while trying to understand concepts like this, it kind of chokes the seed out and then it never sprouts. And so the longer we can meditate on these types of phrases and open ourselves up, create the space, drop out of the mind and into the heart and breathe. Breathe with the trees. Picture your lungs as trees, and as you're breathing in, you're breathing into your internal forest. And as you exhale, you're breathing out into the external forest. And you're almost creating like a symbiotic, is that the right word? Sense of space. You're creating room for the seeds to grow. You're watering your seeds with space and time and trust. So I hope this is making sense to somebody. I told you I'm practicing, because this is an energetic, this is something that feels very energetic, and it's hard for me to put into words, but I'm doing my very, very best. my very, very best. And this also circles back around to yesterday's video of saying that heaven on earth is real. Heaven on earth. My cat just jumped to the tippy top of the roof. She's so cute. Heaven on earth is real. There's nowhere to get to. There's nowhere that we must first pass on from this lifetime to now we go to heaven. The level and states of consciousness that we have when we pass away is the level and state of consciousness we are going to have on the other side. And I believe that this is what Jesus was teaching. He was teaching how to die before you die. How to forgive this world, how to forgive our perceived egoic selves, and how to forgive the perceived egoic selves of others, and how to forgive everything. And how through forgiveness, miracles are birthed through you. Miracles such as understanding and reaching levels of consciousness that we believe in a limited sense that we can only reach after death, but we can truly receive them here and now if we choose to work with our minds, if we choose to forgive our thoughts, we choose to forgive our fears, to forgive our limiting beliefs, to forgive the hurts of others, to forgive ourselves for hurting ourselves and for hurting others, to forgive this world for looking so dark, to forgive everything because truly none of it is real. But then he also says to respect the illusion. So to have a deep sense of respect for this life while simultaneously understanding that it's an illusion. And that the only way out is through. The only way up is down. The only way to truly ascend is to descend. You merge the ascension and the descension together. And that is the way through. To not dismiss the pains of this world, but to also not let them drag you down with them. To rise above them from a grounded and centered place. It's like contradiction after contradiction after contradiction that our minds just want to explode. But that's the funny thing, is that the universe is full of contradictions. This exists and this exists too. They can both coexist together in harmony. I feel as though I do love a good contradiction. And so that's what's coming through today. To create the space within ourselves to allow these types of seeds to be planted without our mind, our egoic mind, trying to overpower and make sense of it all, but to allow the seed to grow in your heart in an open space that you've created. You water your seeds with space. You water your seeds, your internal seeds of truth, with space and with breath, not with logical thinking and trying to figure out. That is going to snuff out your seeds. So, whatever resonated with you, awesome. Whatever didn't resonate with you, awesome. Take what resonated, leave what didn't. I'm not trying to change anybody's minds or convince anybody of anything. But I just ask that if something did resonate with you and you did feel like there was like something that sparked life within you that felt exciting, let's take that time right now to breathe into that together. And we'll leave behind what didn't resonate. You don't have to take that with you. Leave behind what didn't feel right for you. And let's take the spark of life, if you felt something spark within you, and let's breathe into that for a moment. We'll take a deep breath in. We'll place a hand on our heart. And let's just feel our heart beat. And follow our breath. Following our breath all the way in. And all the way out. Breathing space into these good feelings. Breathing space into these sparks of light in our chest, in our heart. Expanding our heart center outward. Breathe in. Feel an expanse. And breathe out. Flowing into. Breathe in. And breathe out. Feeling any sensation in our body. Any tingles or itches or sounds. Just breathe into them. And then slowly we'll open our eyes. Well, thank you so much for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day or night, and I will talk to you later.